Good evening, viewers, and welcome to today's news bulletin. Here are the headlines of the day. Meghalaya Legislative Assembly discusses about traffic jam and the steps needed to decongest Shillong city. Donor Minister G. Kishan Reddy lauds Assam Rifles for its contribution towards peace and tranquility in the Northeast. Government to take people on board over the issue of railways in Meghalaya, says Chief Minister Conrad Sangma. And Mukul Sangma accuses the MDA government of running away from its responsibility by not extending the timing of the sitting of the House. The Assembly on Friday discussed about the ever-increasing traffic jam and the steps needed to decongest Shillong city. Nong Thamai MLA Charles Penrobe asked if the world-class sky walk mentioned by Chief Minister Conrad Sangma during his budget speech will help ease vehicular congestion. Earlier, Tinsong informed that the government has taken multidisciplinary measures and integrated approach to tackle traffic congestion and improve mobility and accessibility of Shillong. Meanwhile, the Education Minister Rakam A. Sangma today told the Assembly that the centre will soon release the second installment for the payment of salaries of the SSA teachers. While replying to the call attention motion by Nongpo MLA Meral Bonds Aim, the Education Minister informed that as on February 2023, the central share received by the state is Rs 272.34 crore and the state share is Rs 30.26 crore for payment of the salaries of the SSA teachers.
Up-to-date salary of all the SSA teachers of the state will be released very soon. I may inform this August House that the state government is actively striving towards the providing quality of education at all levels despite challenges in various educational parameters.
Union Minister of Development of Northeastern Region G. Kishan Reddy has lauded the Assam Rifles for its contribution towards peace and tranquility in the Northeastern region. While addressing the gathering during the 188th Raising Day of the Assam Rifles held at its Directorate General Headquarters at Lightcore here today, the Union Minister said that the oldest paramilitary force in the country has rightly and fondly been recognized by the indigenous population as the Friends of the Northeast. The Union Minister of Donor said that the development activities have picked up in the past few years since the region's militancy problem has been controlled. It may be mentioned that the Assam Rifles is the oldest paramilitary force in India. It was raised in 1845 under the British Raj under the name Kachar Levy.
मुझे आकर बहुत भी गर्व मैं सम्मान भी महसूस कर रहा हूं आप लोगों से अपने लोगों से एक बार फिर से जुड़ना व्यक्तिगत मेरे लिए भी बहुत खुशी की बात है.
Chief Minister Conrad Sangma today reiterated that the government will take the people on board while moving ahead on the issue of introducing railways. It may be mentioned that two proposed lines, Titilia Bernihut and Bernihut Shillong, are pending since several years due to the opposition from the NGOs. The Chief Minister said that it is important to have railways and at the same time it is important to have measures to protect the people of the state. He said that the government has already passed a resolution in the House to urge the centre to implement ILP in the state.
I have approached the Honourable Minister for Railways, Government of India, and urged that these are matters where we need to consult and take our stakeholders into confidence. And hence we require time to discuss matters with them. And only once we're able to resolve and come to some kind of understanding would we want to go ahead with things. I've mentioned before that we have discussed whether we can start with goods train, because goods train is something that will help the state's economy and the farmers and everybody. And that could be one way to start.
TMC leader Dr. Mukul Sangma said that it is an indication that there is an attempt on the part of the NPP-led MDA government to run away from its responsibility by not extending the timing of the sitting of the House. Reacting to the decision of the Assembly Speaker Thomas A. Sangma to adjourn the sitting of the House here on Friday, Sangma said that the whole indication is reflective of their tendency to run away from the responsibility of being accountable. According to him, this is not a session for the passing of a vote on account. It is a session to pass the full budget.
Please remember that this session is not a budget for vote on account. It is a full budget session for passing a full budget. Therefore, enough discussion and deliberation to instill in the mind of the people of the state the confidence. Accountability to legislature means accountability to people. So along with the power and authority comes a responsibility. Therefore, it is only reflective of their predetermined intent to run away from the sense of responsibility and accountability.
Voice of the People Party has decided to hit the street to highlight the issue of the implementation of the roster system, which has affected the educated unemployed youth of the Khasi and Jaintia Hills region. While speaking to reporters, VPP President Arden Miller Basayomod said that they are left with no option since the government is not giving them an opportunity to discuss the issue on the floor of the House. The VPP president said that this is the first time that the Assembly budget session is being held only for 7 days, and only 2 days are reserved for the private members' business.
Just 2 days, imagine, and that also we have been restricted as member, allotted with 10 minutes time. How do we express our suggestion points in 10 minutes time in a debate on governors, and how do we express our points and suggestion, say, in 10 minutes on budget discussion? Better not to call the assembly at all if they don't have any issue. As members of the ruling, members of the opposition, we've got a lot of issues. People, they are looking to us. Every time they are calling, they are giving us information how to take up. But you have seen how they run the house. So this is too much on the part of the government. We will not sit idle.
The World Tuberculosis Day was observed in July today with the theme "We Can End TB." Tuberculosis is a serious infectious disease that affects millions of people globally, and the World TB Day is observed annually on March 24th to raise awareness about the disease, its prevention and control. The event started with a rally where students marched through the streets waving banners and posters and raised awareness about TB. The rally was led by local health officials who discussed the importance of early diagnosis and treatment of the disease. After the rally, a public meeting was organized at Kim Usnyang Indoor Hall, where distinguished doctors and health officials spoke about the current state of TB and the measures being taken to combat the disease. And now for the weather report. The maximum temperature recorded was 20.6 degrees Celsius and the minimum temperature was 10 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity in the morning was 66%, while it was 85% in the evening. And the forecast says light to moderate rain is very likely at few places. This is a reminder that our news bulletin is also available live on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. In addition to watching on television, viewers may visit the DD News Shillong YouTube channel to tune in to our daily bulletin. And before we wind up, here's the headlines once again. Meghalaya Legislative Assembly discusses about traffic jam and the steps needed to decongest Shillong city. Donor Minister G. Kishan Reddy lauds Assam Rifles for its contribution towards peace and tranquility in the Northeast. Government to take people on board over the issue of railways in Meghalaya, says Chief Minister Conrad Sangma. And Mukul Sangma accuses the MDA government of running away from its responsibility by not extending the timing of the sitting of the House. And with that, we've come to the end of today's edition of the News Bulletin. Do join us back tomorrow at the same time. Good night.